Bay win the NFC South.
Hey, power's still on. What is it? It's 5:10 right now, about 2 hours till landfall. Hurricane Milton making its way to Tampa. Let's keep it moving. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, New Orleans Saints, in New Orleans, in the Superdome. Second road divisional game in a row. Let's go. This one is a little bit different of a scenario situation. Last week, tons of injuries, short week of rest, Thursday night football. This week, looking to get some guys back. Weird scenario, weird travel situation with the hurricane. The team is already in New Orleans practicing at Tulane. And the Bucs are looking like they might get some guys back. Kalijah Kancey, full go in practice, full participant for the first time, I believe. And obviously with him not having played a snap so far this year, this is a massive deal for someone who I believe is the Bucs' best pass rusher, and coming from that inside right next to Vita Vea, it is just, I think, could end up being a nightmare. Antoine Winfield Jr. hasn't played since week 1 against the Washington Commanders, was a limited participant, so that's progress. It's good. Will he play this week? I can't say that for sure. I don't think anyone can, even the team. It's just a slow work your way back type thing. You do not want a guy like Antoine Winfield to go out there prematurely, re-injure it, and then be out even longer. So if he's good to go, hey, we need it. Let's go. If he's not, another week. There will still be a lot of unknowns this week at receiver. McMillan's still dealing with the hamstring, and Trey Palmer still in concussion protocol. Speaking of concussion protocol, is there a lot of white noise? Can you guys hear the rain and the wind pounding against my window? I don't know. Speaking of concussion protocol, Luke Gedeke, still in it. Still in it. Got that concussion week 1. Something happened in practice. And since week 1, he hasn't played with a concussion. So, this team said they're hopeful that he'll be able to get out of it before Sunday. But, again, one of those things, I've said this every single week, you just got to pass the test. There is no gauge on, he's looking better. No, he has to pass the test. Yesterday we received huge news on the Saints side that Derek Carr will miss multiple weeks with a oblique injury. Now, I'm not going to get my hopes up too high, like, oh yeah, 1,000% the Bucs got this, because I've definitely seen a Todd Bowles defense lose to a Saints backup quarterback, and I think the Bucs' chances are better, obviously, because Derek Carr is the starter for a reason, but this is not a guaranteed win the way the Saints play. So that leaves Jake Haener and Spencer Rattler, the rookie 4th-round pick, as their 2 options. Jake Haener was the guy that came in that Kansas City Chiefs game when Derek Carr went out, but Spencer Rattler is a guy they are saying they are actually considering for this game to start. So that would be another rookie quarterback that the Bucs play this season if he does end up starting. Honestly, I go back and forth with who I think or who I would rather this Bucs defense see. Haener is I would say he's a little more conservative than Rattler. You'll see a lot more short passes, controlling the ball, dump offs to Kamara. So there's that. And then there's Rattler, who is a bit more electric, really strong arm that would make Olave and Shaheed a much bigger deal in this game compared to if Haener plays, I believe. But that also means he's more likely to make mistakes if he's going to be pushing the ball like that. So there are positives and negatives to both. If I were the Saints, I would probably lean Haener. Saints always have a really good defense, so I would put the guy out there that just controls the ball, controls the clock, doesn't turn the ball over, and hope that the defense can hold this Bucs offense. If this game ends up turning into a low-scoring game, you don't want a guy out there that's going to end up turning the ball over and putting your defense in a bad situation. So I feel like they're probably going to go Haener. That's just what my gut is telling me, but as if I know anything about the Saints, don't listen to me. Either way, the Saints are going to lean heavily on Alvin Kamara, which they already did in the past, but I feel like with Kubiak now this season, at offensive coordinator, they have just fed this guy. And he's balled out. He's been up to the task. This last week was probably his worst game, getting shut down by the Chiefs. He had less than 30 yards rushing, so it can be done, but they will absolutely feed Kamara, and it's going to be a big deal for Levante David, KJ Britt, Tyke Smith, the guys in the middle there, your two linebackers and your nickelback, to make these tackles. We know Kamara, with his balance and his tackle-breaking ability, a 5-yard dump-off pass can end up going 30 yards because one guy misses a tackle. We cannot have that. The Saints all season have been dealing with some offensive line injuries, so I am looking for this Bucs pass rush momentum to keep that momentum going and growing, especially if you get Kancey back coming from the middle. That would be fantastic. And I don't expect either of these young quarterbacks to be able to be successful or comfortable in 3rd and long situations in this game. So if they end up in 3rd and 9, 3rd and 13 because Yaya Diaby gets a sack, I'm not confident in that Saints quarterback to convert that. I'm not. As for the other side of the matchup, the Bucs offense versus the Saints defense, we know what this will look like. We've seen Dennis Allen defenses for a long time now at this point. Physical presence up front. Very physical. Demario Davis at that second level, bringing the boom. And then on the back end, man coverage. It's what they do. It's a physical defense. It always is. No matter how much you hate the Saints, no matter how much I hate the Saints, you cannot deny. With them playing man on the back end, you need your defensive line to get home. You need your pass rush to get home. And I wouldn't say their pass rush has been extremely successful. It hasn't been too bad. But you look at guys like Cameron Jordan, I don't think he has a sack on the season. And Granderson, I think he has a couple there. One of their top sack leaders is their nickel back. And that came from 3 sacks in week 1 against the Carolina Panthers. So if they're not able to get to Baker Mayfield, we've seen what Baker Mayfield can do with time. And then especially if they're playing man-to-man, that means some guys in the secondary are going to have their backs turned from Baker Mayfield. That means a bunch of Baker scrambles. I think this could end up being fairly successful for this Bucs offense. Do I think they're going to blow the door wide open and put up 35 points again or 37 like they did against the Washington Commanders? No, but I do think they can have enough success to win this game against a Saints team that doesn't have their quarterback. So always a tough, bruising matchup against this team who is our rival but not our rival. Apparently, I will predict a lower scoring game. I'll go Saints 16, Bucs 23. I think this team took that overtime loss personally. You can tell by their reactions. You can tell by their post-game interviews, press conferences. Everyone was pissed off. You see that quote from Tristan Wirfs where he's just like, we had multiple chances and we basically, peed down our right leg. They're not happy with how that game ended, and they know they need to figure out how to finish games because those are crucial games against a divisional opponent where you have it in your hand and you let it slip away. So they're going to be looking for a huge bounce back. And on the other side, the Saints have lost 3 in a row. Their quarterback is down. Seems from the outside looking in, they're sort of reeling at this point. Let's keep it that way. The plan is for me to go to New Orleans after this storm dies down. Like I said, the landfall time is expected to be in 2 hours. So hopefully we're able to get through all of this together. From Fort Myers to Sarasota to Tampa where I'm at, St. Petersburg, it's going to be tough. It's going to be a grind. There's going to be some scares, but hopefully we're all able to get through this together and we can just find something we can all root for and be happy for this weekend. Like I said, Friday, plan on going to New Orleans, driving up there, and just enjoying the weekend, eating some good food and watching a Bucs win, hopefully. So leave your comments down below, your guys' thoughts on this game. Please like and subscribe if you have not already. Go Bucs. Stay safe, Tampa. Y'all have a blessed one.